Welcome back to ARC Florida. We told you about this tragic alligator attack in Polk County where a woman and her husband, they were canoeing and then an alligator tipped over the canoe, ended tragically for this family.
Yeah, so this happened on Tuesday afternoon in Lake Kissimmee. Polk County deputies say the canoe was going over the gator and then the gator thrashed and tipped it over. The husband and wife were thrown out of the canoe. Deputies say the husband tried to intervene but was not able to help the woman, and she did pass away. So joining us now to talk a little bit more about this incident is the Director of Media Relations at Gatorland, Brandon Fisher. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having us this morning.
So Brandon, this is a horrible thing that that has happened. Can you tell us more about what you think maybe provoked the gator?
Well, in all honesty, there's quite a few different factors in play here. For one, it's gator mating season, so alligators are a little bit more territorial this time of year. They're a little bit more active this time of year, and then also at least up here in this area and down in that area, Florida hasn't seen a lot of rain recently, so it's been very dry, and they were canoeing in 2.5 feet of water, and it was a good sized alligator, somewhere between 11 and 12 feet long from my understanding. And even a gator that big can fully submerge in 1.5 feet of water and you never even see it. So they just happened to be traveling over top of that gator, bumped and spooked the gator. And when you bump and spook an alligator, typical for the gator is to swim away, and they swim away with a lot of power and a lot of force. So it was enough to tip over that canoe, and unfortunately what happened, and we hate to see it. We don't want to ever see that happen. Just a tragic accident.
So I guess the question here is there something that this couple did wrong or that you advise for people not to do during this time of year? Should you not be paddling or canoeing in areas where there are alligators?
No, I don't believe they did anything wrong. I mean, you got to enjoy the outdoors. We live in a beautiful state with a lot of outdoor activities. You just, you have to be very aware of your surroundings when you are in those areas with alligators, because an alligator can be anywhere. And with it being as dry as it's been and the water drying up, these alligators are going to get kind of moved out of their normal territory, especially if it's drying up. So they're going to try to find places of water. That's where alligators feel safe when they're in the water and they can hide. So it was just happened to be very shallow water, and unfortunately you can't really control that. If you can't see the bottom, the water's not clear enough, you never know what might be, lying underneath. And that's a really big alligator. And there's a lot of alligators in that area and a lot of big alligators known in that area. So, again, just a very tragic accident, not something we want to see. And if you're going to enjoy those outdoor activities, you have to be very aware of those surroundings.
Yeah, I want to touch on something that you said, Brandon, because it feels like we do all want to enjoy the outdoors, obviously, but it also feels like we're encroaching into their territory, and the gators were here first. So what can we do as Floridians so that we can coexist?
So the best thing is that they're a protected species here in the state of Florida. So it's against the law to feed alligators. It's against the law to touch them, catch them in the wild. And the best thing to do is, if you see one, keep your distance away from it. If you live in a neighborhood where you have bodies of water, retention ponds, things like that, and you're walking your pets around, keep your distance away, at least a good 25 feet away from the water's edge, walking your pets around. Alligators are opportunistic feeders, so if it's easier for them to get their food, they're going to take the easier route. And small pets are an easy target. They don't see people's food. We're way too big for them. They like to eat small things in the wild. Alligators eat turtles, fish, and birds. Mostly turtles there, very strong bite, one of the strongest of the animal kingdom. And so you just got to be definitely aware if you're going to be around water or outdoors in those kind of areas. And alligators are more active from dusk till dawn. That's when they do most of their hunting. They do most of their breeding and most of their activity, but they can be just as active during the day as well. When they're out there, they're sitting in the sun, they're warming themselves up during the nice sunny days we have here in Florida. They're kind of gaining all this energy to be able to do what alligators do: swimming, eating, digesting their food and such. So When they sit out all day, then they got this energy to burn. So that's why they're more active from dusk till dawn. And I believe this happened around 4 p.m. on Tuesday. So it was getting to that point. But again, like I said, they can be just as active during the day.
All right, Brandon Fisher from Gatorland. Brandon, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
And thanks for having us. And, you need more information, come on over to Gatorland. We'll teach you. We've been doing this since 1949. We're the leaders in alligator education and safety. And we want everybody to be safe and enjoy Florida. Enjoy Florida and have fun out there, but also be cautious.
Brandon, thank you. We'll be right back.